both myself and Dwayne using the R. The R. Using the R.
Oh, army.
Oh, R. Well, I hope I get it right before the end of the programme. I'm sure we will. Tonight, we're out ratting with the Air Arms S510 rifles, a brace of them. We also hear Dwayne's lovely singing voice.
Thorn in my side.
Thorn up my arse. And I get some much needed exercise.
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Oh, attention, there's some big ones.
It's got to be. Well, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Don't forget you can keep abreast of the up-to-date action by following us on Instagram at @team_Foxer. So, a couple of days prior to shooting, I went down during daylight hours to try and scope out some of the likely spots that we would be seeing rats and check the distances using my laser rangefinder so we could set the rifles up to be pinpoint accurate at those average distances. I'm joined on tonight's mission by Dwayne, an experienced pest controller friend of mine who's got himself the brand new Air Arms S510 FAC rifle and topped it off with a PARD 008. I would be using my S510 with the usual ATN scope. We would both be spotting using the Pulsar Accolade XP50 thermal imaging binoculars. All told, we've got well in excess of £10,000 worth of kit for tonight's mission. A little excessive? I think you'll find not. Look at that humdinger there, but... Two up here, that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, fighting in this bank.
Take something growing. There's some big ones and all.
There is some big ones here. They're well fed. It was decided that despite us making a fair amount of noise on the farm track and parking quite close to the bank on our arrival, we would actually take out several of the rats here on the track before we went into the main pen itself. Bloody hell, like literally right next to us there's 1, 2... Good God. Let's go up here.
Yeah, come on mate, I'm following you.
Well, that's a sweet takedown, and that's rat number 1. You may wish to consider counting exactly how many rats we're able to take out in this video, as I'm going to use that information for a competition in a few weeks' time. Dwayne was filming this using a camcorder, but he was looking at the rat to the left while I took this one out that had come out the hole, so didn't quite manage to capture that one on it. I can't quite see enough of the rat here, and I seem to have done quite a lot of rat shooting recently in scenarios just like this, where I'm having to thread the pellet into a small target area. That said, it does make you quite a proficient shot on rats just like this one. So, standing in one place, within the first few minutes I've been able to account for 5 or 6 standing in one spot with ranges from 15 to around 20 yards. Riding a crest of confidence after the first few shots, here's another good example of just having a little bit of patience, waiting for the rat to present itself so you can get a clear shot to the vitals, straight between the eyes. That's all you need.
Oh, that was a beauty of a shot.
Right, it's time for Dwayne to christen his 510 and 008 combo. That sound, it never gets tiresome. Both of us have a small addition to the rifle. It's a little cocking aid that goes on the side lever to make cocking the rifle that little bit easier. Well, it certainly doesn't look like it's taken Dwayne too long to become accustomed to shooting the 510 and 008 combo. As I take out a scaly tail, I can barely see in all the brambles. However, using the thermal, I could see which direction it was facing so that I could take it out humanely.
Oh yeah, he's flapping around. I literally could only see his eye.
Yeah.
A quick check with a Pulsar Accolade confirms it is indeed a headshot. You can even see the blood splatter on the vegetation there. As I pan up, I can see another one just poking his head out of the hole. As I get the ATN in focus to take the shot, you can just see another one poking his head out to the left. But that's sometimes all we need to be able to take them down. It certainly seemed to set a bit of a theme, this, for a bulk part of the evening, taking rats out just within the hole there as Dwayne eyes up one and another one catches his attention, moving through the fairly densely packed bush. However, again, Dwayne's taken a few rats out now already as he eyes up another one. That one, though, had a very lucky escape with a twig saving his life, and this one, the pellet went a little bit low and just clipped the mound of earth in front of it. This one, well, I think he saw what was coming. And again, like I said, it was a bit like a game. I seem to recall a game in the arcades that reminded me of rat shooting here. They kept popping up and bobbing back down again, and if you were lucky enough, you could get a shot off quick enough before the rat went back down again. I think here there's 2 or 3 rats just keep bobbing up and down. Oh, that's the game I was thinking about. This one lingers a little too long as I central the crosshairs on the nose and squeeze the trigger. Unsure as to whether or not I have headshot this rat, I stayed with it for a few seconds just to see if he gives me that quintessential death flick, and they often will, they will flick themselves out of the hole. Sure enough, I stay with it and he does, and as he does so, his friend comes down to see what all the commotion was about. And it was at that point he realised he'd made a big mistake.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
He did, and I did too. Dum dum dum. Another one bites the dust. Dum dum dum. Another one bite. Yeah, shut up, Rob. Oh, that would have been a beauty of a headshot, just perfectly placed as well. But just check out the perfect hole that was in that twig. You can just see the hole there in the twig to the left of the crosshair. How this rat got away with just a head shave is beyond me. Check out how close the pellet comes to grazing the head of that rat. That is one lucky scaly tail. Now, I've witnessed the cannibalistic nature of rats several times in the past, as Dwayne captures this one here, dragging a fallen comrade away through the pard 008. There's no wonder when it came to picking up time that we couldn't find half of the rats that we'd actually shot that evening, as Dwayne takes out a perfectly placed heart shot there on a scaly tail. You can see the tight infrared beam there from Dwayne's PAR 008, and the good thing with using a camcorder is you've got quite a wide field of view, so I'm able to direct Dwayne's beam
Down,
into the
left.
rat,
There.
although I think he needs a little bit of help with his
Down,
left and right.
Right there.
I think there was actually something wrong with that rat. I think it's actually one I clipped a little earlier that was stumbling around, and Dwayne finished it off for me. Right, I forgot my diver's bottle, so it's time to fill up with some air.
You are on a diet, aren't you?
Yeah,
That's good exercise, isn't it?
that's what I'm knackered, I reckon. I've not had no chocolate.
Oh, right.
I've lost half a stone.
Well done.
Oh, it's alright, I think I found it again.
What we'll do, when I've caught my breath, is we'll have a... we've got a lot of bodies along this bank, and it's now a little difficult to distinguish a fresh rat from ones we've already shot. So we'll have a bit of a pick up in here and have a little count up and see what we've got so far. There will be one or two that have gone down the holes, but I've got my picker in the truck, so we'll see if we can pull them out. Right.
I've been told this before, you know. You go out shooting with Dwayne and you end up doing all the work. In fact, you can check out some of Dwayne's videos. He's got some great wildfowling and other shooting videos on his channel. Please go ahead and check it out. I'll put a link to it in the video's description.
Some good size ones, chap.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
That's a beastie. Look at that bad boy.
yeah. Just there, look. How big and he is.
Oh yeah. He's in a funny old place, isn't he?
Oh. Now then,
I think that's a winner.
look at that.
And that hedge, what? Neck hedge, not
Yeah,
yeah, he's winning so far.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got to be in double digits now.
Oh, definitely. That's what I like to see.
Ow! I sat on a freaking fawn.
What's the saying? Fawn in my side.
Fawn up my arse.
Oh, right.
Come on, John, grab someone else. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I've had 19
Yeah.
at least. Well,
I know there's a couple that I've shot's gone in back in the hole.
yeah.
You shot a couple that's gone in the holes, hasn't there?
Yeah.
So, with a nice warm cup of tea inside us and some air in the rifles, it's time to get back on the scaly tails for part 2.
You step to the left because he's behind that post.
Moments later, the rat is very obliging and moves into a clearing on the left, and Dwayne wastes no time in taking it out in true Team Foxer accurate style. The next rat that he takes is over 25 yards. It's a little bit past the 0 point, but the extra punch of the FAC keeps the pellet nice and true, and he takes it down with a perfectly placed headshot. Cracking shot that, mate. Well done. Meanwhile, I have time to thread one more pellet before I make my way into the main pen to see what all the commotion is inside the chicken shed. Yep, I'll be the first to admit that wasn't the cleanest of kills. What I've done is I double lunged that rat. It did expire just behind the pen there, moments later. This rat here is at 28 yards. I'm sighted in at 20, so I need to make sure I account here for a little holdover by putting the crosshair at the top of the head. And it was an absolute perler. Probably the shot of the night for me there, as the pellet made its way exactly between the eye and ear. Perfect brain shot, that. This next rat was very fidgety. It had given me 2 or 3 missed opportunities prior to this, but I got him that time.
Got you that time.
I recorded this rat in the middle of the paddock because it was quite strange to see it so far away from the safety of any of the holes or covers. I'm standing with my back towards the bank, which is pretty much the main nest, and I think he was making his way towards me anyway. I tried to take it there, realising I'd not cycled around, so it was another few minutes before he actually stopped fidgeting around and I was able to squeeze the shot off. Perhaps a tiny bit low because he was a little closer than I originally ranged, but he soon expired with a heart shot.
You're done.
If it's not bloody twigs and shrubs, it's chicken wire. So I've got a double wired fence here. So first shot, he has a lucky escape. He has a lucky escape with the second shot. A little bit of fidgeting around from both myself and the rat.
Third time lucky.
And it's third time lucky for me. That's better. 1 shot, 1 kill for that one. I've got time for a few more in and amongst the shrubbery before we have one final pickup and start thinking about heading for home.
Bowl it a treat.
Now this next rat would have been the last one, but as we were packing away some of the bits into the back of the car, there was one more rat just behind the car on the stretch of grass leading up to the main road that I decided I would have a crack at. And I got Dwayne to film it through his thermal.
You filming?
And as he flicks around with the indicative spasms of a headshot rat there, you can see the blood flicking around in the thermal. You don't have to do one hell of a death dance, this one.
Get out.
And just as we were leaving, I thought I'd stop and film these lovely looking muntjac deer. You could see just the other side of the chicken wire here. I love to see these little things, and it's something that we are not short of in this area. Well, we've arrived at the end of our ratting session. I actually wasn't expecting it to be quite as busy as it was, and they weren't all concentrated just in this bank. As you probably saw, there were quite a few in the paddock as well, and they certainly varied in size. We've managed to pick up 28, but by mine and Dwayne's reckoning, we reckon we've probably had a good 40 or so, but there are some deep within the brambles, and there are some that of course have gone back down in the holes, so we'll let nature take its course with those ones. These ones are going to get boxed up and find their way to the incinerator. One piece of kit we would definitely never change nowadays is the thermal spotters. They are an absolute godsend, not just for finding shot quarry and spotting things, but also getting your ranges spot on as well, because some of these were taken quite close. You may have noticed we were having to just give them a little bit of holdover as the pellet rises towards the 0 point. And anyway, I think we finished just about in time, as it's just started spitting with rain. So we're going to get packed up and get off home for a nice cup of tea. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting. We'll catch you in the next one.